Hey everybody, welcome to the Vitruvian Gamer channel. Today I'm doing a special about Empires of the North, the game that I've in the last days have put an unboxing and a solo playthrough online for, but I thought I'm going to show you more, because this is a special case for Portal Games, because this is a new game set in the Imperial Settlers world. Now, my first fear was, when this game was announced, when the first time that I saw this, was, oh no, are they going to make small changes to make a new Imperial Settlers? Well, the answer is no. Of course, there are similarities, but today I'm going to talk about 14 differences between Imperial Settlers and Empires of the North. So, I'm going to put Imperial Settlers at the side, and I'm going to show you what's new in Empires of the North. So, a first small difference is the number of factions. There are 6 factions or 6 clans in the base game, while the first base game of Imperial Settlers, let's put me a little bit in screen, Imperial Settlers had 4 to start with. Of course, there are some expansions already for Imperial Settlers that make you have more factions, but these are 6 brand new factions, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. I will normally film a video about the 6 factions and what's so special about each and every one of them. Stay tuned, coming up soon on this channel. Difference number 2. There are 2 new resources, actually 3, but one changes another one. So we have now sheep as an extra resource and fish, which will help you mostly, well, with some actions and especially sailing. Also, swords has been replaced by axes, and I will talk about those later as well. Also important to know, gold at the end of the game is worth 1 point for each one you have. Resources are worth 1 point for every 2 of them that you still have. Change number 3. The endgame condition has changed. Now, people who know 51st State Master Set know already how this works, but in this game, you don't play 5 set rounds, you're going to play until someone reaches at least 25 points. That round will be played until it's finished, and after that you're going to score points. Well, extra points for your locations, resources, and more. Difference number 4 is the lookout phase. While we did the drafting in Imperial Settlers, this time it works very differently, because, and I will talk about that later, you're going to draw 4 cards from your own faction deck, and you may keep as many as you wish of these 4, but for each one that you are going to keep, you have to spend 1 worker to get it in you. Of course, that worker has been used and will not be able to do something else that round. And that takes us to difference number 5. There is no common deck to draw from or to draw from. There only are these clan-based decks, 33 cards for each clan, no common deck in Empires of the North. Difference number 6. As I already showed you, I spent workers and I placed it on this token here. That's because at the start of the game, each player will get 5 workers. You can get more about that later, but each time you spend a worker, they're not going back to the common supply, they're going on this token here. Now, there are ways to get them back. Some clans can retrieve them, but spent workers go here, and at the beginning of a new round you get all of them back. Difference number 7 is that this time you cannot spend 2 workers to get a resource of your choice, nor to draw a card. So that action is gone. Difference number 8, and this is a big one, folks. There is no production phase. So normally in a game of Imperial Settlers, your fields or your production cards, they are fields in this game, they will produce anything the card tells you to get. But not anymore. You still start the game with these and you still get the resources on the card when you build one of these, but No, 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 you don't get them for free anymore after that. Now you have to do something else, and that's the next difference. Because in this game, and that's difference number 9, you have an action rondel. This will be set up randomly at the beginning of the game, 5 actions that you can take. Now, what do you use for taking those actions? You get 2 worker pawns to do so. So, for example, when I told you you didn't have a production phase anymore, that's because now you'll have to put your worker pawn on the harvest action to collect all the resources from one field. Not from all of them, just one. Other actions that you can take with these pawns are populate, which add a cat to your video, and also 1 worker to your worker pool. Because, as I already said, workers, they stay with you, they are spent on this token here, and you get them back at the start of each round or at the end in the cleanup phase. So if you need more workers, you can get them this way, and now you have more workers to do stuff with. You can go explore, lets you draw 1 card from your deck. You can construct, which allows you to build a building for free. So if you have this expensive building here, you could just go do that action and build it completely for free. The last action that you can do is sailing, and that's the next difference. But before I talk about that, I must say that you also can spend 1 apple to move one of your worker pawns to one of the adjacent worker spots, turn it around so the X is visible, and do that action again. The X tells you that you can do this only once, which every one of your pawns, if they are both like this, they're both exhausted. Difference number 10. Again, a big one, folks, and this can be seen as a replacement of the common deck in a way. So now you can go sailing, as we already saw in that action rondel. So as an action, you can go sailing, and when doing so, you put your ship token, because every clan starts the game with 2 of them, as high on the board as they can. If there are already other ships there, you place them underneath it, forming a row. At the end of a round, well, before the round completely ends, before going to the cleanup phase, there will be a sailing phase, where each player can get one of these cards here. Now there are 2 options. You can go, well, actually more. So first of all, 2 options are going to nearby islands or distant islands. The nearby islands give you stuff, the distant islands give you better stuff. But in order to go to one of those distant islands, you will have to send fish with you, food for your crew. And then you can go to any of these islands, which are still available, and you can go and pillage them, gaining the resources that are on the card and then discarding that island. You can also choose to bring an axe with you. Then you are going to conquer. When conquering, you take the island card, do the right side, the conquer side, where you have to spend the axe, as it said, and you get that island under your control. There's always a building bonus attached to an island, so you immediately get those resources, and you might get an action, a feature, or whatever. You add this to your empire or your clan board, and well, from next round on, you can start using that card. It's also worth 1 point at the end of the game. And that's a new thing, sailing. Change number 11. We just saw the axe being used in conquering islands. The axe can be used in one more way, and that's less aggressive than Imperial Settlers uses their swords. You can now exhaust an action card of any one of your opponents, so they cannot use it anymore. No raising in this game, just some sweet, calm exhausting. And that brings us to difference number 12, of course, because cards can be exhausted. In this game, in order to use an action, you don't put the stuff that you need to spend on the card, to do the action. No, this time you spend the resource, put it into the supply and exhaust your card. Of course, there are cards that let you unexhaust cards, and also in the cleanup phase you of course get to unexhaust every exhausted card. But wait, there's more about cards. There's some new stuff going on here. Look at these two cards here. This one, the guardhouse, for example, tells you to construct to build. So remember our action pawns that we can use. So in order to build this card during your turn, you have to do a construct action. Take that action, build a card from your hand for free, and then you can also play one card that has this word here, construct to build, for free, without any cost. How cool is that? This is also one that does the same thing, but you'll have to sail in order to get to play this card for free. But this is this red flag underneath these words, which means this is a boost card, and boost cards are played when you fulfill their prerequisites, in this case by sailing, and then you can play this card again for free, and this is an instant. You do what this card says and afterwards you just discard this to your discard pile. And last but really not least, at the end of a round in the cleanup phase, you get back all your workers that you had put on your spent workers token, and you get to keep every resource, gold, axe that you still had in your resource pool. You don't have to remove them to the supply again. And that, folks, are for me the 14 most important changes between, or differences between, Imperial Settlers and Empires of the North. Now I might have missed one or two. If I did, let me know in the comments. Also, what do you think of it? So this difference is, you can compare it to different games of Pandemic. You have so many different Pandemic games, and this one does the same thing with Imperial Settlers in a way. Changes quite a bit, but still has the same DNA. What do you think of this? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give a thumbs up. If you want to see more in the future, be sure to subscribe and maybe push that bell icon. But anyway, thank you again for watching, and see you all in the future. Bye bye.